Top story viewers, as Rahul Gandhi campaigns in Punjab, spreading a message of unity in the Congress party. Some MPs chose to skip Rahul's campaign, creating quite a stir and a fair amount of speculation.
Rahul Gandhi enters the battlefield in Punjab. In a mega show of unity, the Congress MP, along with all 117 assembly candidates and top leaders, visited the Golden Temple. The entire team then visited Durgyana Mandir and Bhagwan Valmiki Tirath Sthal in a reach out to all key social segments of Punjab. But what was billed as a show of unity by an otherwise divided Punjab Congress was soon overshadowed by the missing faces. 5 Congress MPs stayed away from the events, indicating all is not well. The absentees were Manish Tiwari, Ravneet Singh Bittu, Jasbir Singh Gill, Mohammad Sadiq and Preneet Kaur. The Congress launched a firefight right away. It denied any dissent, claiming the MPs were not invited to the events.
We are Amritsar MP is there very much. Everybody is busy with their election campaign and everything. They will be there in respective constituency. Nothing is like that.
So all is well in the party now?
Very much.
Some missing MPs tried to clear the air. Jasbir Singh Gill, one of the absent MPs, first tweeted he had informed the leadership of his inability to attend the Amritsar event due to personal obligations. An hour later, he tweeted, MPs were not invited to the functions. Just a day ago, Jasbir Singh Gill had made his displeasure clear, asking what can one do if the party ignores hard work, loyalty and honesty. Another MP, Ravneet Singh Bittu, reached the Jalandhar venue where Rahul addressed a virtual rally. For the party, trouble seems to be mounting. The Congress is already struggling to keep the divide between CM Charanjit Channi and State Unit Chief Navjot Sidhu under check. In Jalandhar, Sidhu asked Rahul to name a CM face. Rahul sidestepped the question altogether.
ਅਸੀਂ TRP ਲਈ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਅਗਲੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਦੇ ਲਈ ਲੜ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਮਹਾਰਾਜ ਔਰ ਅਗਲੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਲਈ ਨੀਹਾਂ 'ਚ ਵਿਚਣ ਦੀ ਉਹ ਨਵਜੋਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸਿੱਧੂ ਨੂੰ ਜੇ ਉਫ ਕਰ ਗਿਆ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਨਿਰਣੇ ਲੈਣ ਦੀ ਤਾਕਤ ਦਈਓ ਭਾਵੇਂ ਕੋਈ ਨਿਰਣਾ ਹੋਏ ਬਸ ਦਰਸ਼ਨੀ ਘੋੜਾ ਨਾ ਬਣਾ ਦਿਓ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਭ ਠੀਕ ਹੈ
चीफ मिनिस्टर को डिक्लेयर करने की मांग उसको हम जल्दी से जल्दी पूरा करें और जो सही व्यक्ति होगा वो पंजाब को आगे ले जाएगा और दूसरा व्यक्ति और दूसरे सब लोग मिलकर एक टीम जैसे लड़ाई लड़ेंगे ऐ भी कोई कहे कि कोई लड़ाई है.
Thursday's events have once again exposed the divisions within the Congress. Unless Rahul Gandhi unites the faction-ridden party, it runs the risk of losing Punjab. One of the two states, the grand old party is in power on its own. Bureau Report, India Today.
While visually there was a lot of hand-holding, a lot of jappis on stage in Amritsar and Jalandhar, but there was a lot of emotional outbursts as well. Word has it that Sidhu asked Rahul to declare a candidate, a chief ministerial face for Punjab. On the other hand, he also went on and said that he wasn't quite just a showpiece. Along with that, a lot else went down. Now, it's on speculation primarily that 5 MPs of the Congress in Punjab are not quite happy with the leadership. 2 of those MPs have made their stand very clear. There's abject silence from the other 3. Some of them as senior as Manish Tiwari and Preneet Kaur, which prompts us to ask the following questions this evening. Can Rahul unite the Punjab Congress? And will the Congress name CM before polls? And is Rahul's leadership under question at all? Speculations were there. Will internal feud cost Congress elections, and who gains if Congress flounders? I want to cut across to our guest this evening. I have GVL Narasimha Rao, BJP MP. I have Gurdeep Sappal, Congress spokesperson, Javed Ansari, senior journalist, Rahul Srivastav, National Affairs editor. I'm also joined by Ahbab Singh Grewal, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson. I want to cut across to Gurdeep Sappal first. Gurdeep Sappal, before we get on to whether, there's credence to the rumblings in Punjab, because everyone knows there have been rumblings. Is it big enough, to script a revolt, or it's just, rumblings before any election? I want to ask you, is the Congress going to announce its chief ministerial face before Punjab goes to polls on the 20th?
Yes, today Rahul Gandhi made it very clear that Congress party will announce a chief minister's post. But I am quite amused at the media picking up entirely wrong news today. Today was a day when 117 candidates and all leaders of Punjab Congress, which included Chief Minister, which included PCC Chief, Mr. Jakhar, other senior leaders, Mr. Bajwa, everybody went to Harmandir Sahib, Golden Temple, Durgyana Temple, and Valmiki Temple. It was a show of unity. How could the media miss that message? How could media miss that Rahul Gandhi, who went around and was amidst a sea of people, in the same area, 20 kilometers away from the now famous border, without any fear? How can media miss out those messages and focus on a story which they have imagined? Today in evening, there was a virtual rally. In that virtual rally, you have pointed out certain statements attributed to Mr. Sidhu, which he did say. But what did he say? What was the operational part? That he said, "मैं वचन देता हूँ, Rahul ji, कि मैं पार्टी का अनुशासन मानूंगा." This similar sentiment was echoed by the Chief Minister, Mr. Channi. Now, what else is unity all about? And as far as the missing MPs are concerned, first, there are not 8 MPs. Congress has 11 Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha MPs. Did you find out whether Santosh Singh was there? Did anybody dare try to find out whether Shamsher Singh Dullo or Ambika Soni was there? Story was concocted. It has been refuted by Congress party in afternoon itself, but it is still going on. Despite the fact that Ravneet Bittu was at the rally, despite the fact Mr. Jasbir Gill has tweeted about it, despite the fact that Mr. Sadiq has already said there's no such thing. Only 2 MPs, as you said, are quiet, out of which one is Ms. Praneeth Kaur, who's the wife of Captain Amrinder Singh. How can this be portrayed as a message that MPs revolted against Congress party or Rahul Gandhi? I think it's a completely wrong reading of situation. Today was a day when Congress party has presented a united face before the voters of Punjab and has said that the decision on Chief Minister face will be taken. Rahul Gandhi has said it will be taken after talking to the workers of Congress party.
All right. Gurdeep Sappal, you've told us that the decision of the Chief Ministerial face will come before Punjab goes to polls. Your anger is understood. It's well taken. But I will ask you that question, Gurdeep Sappal, before I bring in...
I'm not angered. I'm amused.
Well, okay. Your amusement is well taken. But I will ask you a follow-up question as I bring in the BJP spokesperson, GVL, as well into this conversation. Gurdeep Sappal, the issue is, the speculations would have died the minute they had erupted if the likes of, and I will say, Manish Tiwari, who's a senior leader, he's been one of your union ministers, or even Praneeth Kaur, because she has chosen to stay with the Congress and not go with her husband, who is Captain Amrinder Singh. If they had just at best given out a tweet and say, bunkum, hogwash, all of this is rumors, exactly what you said right now.
I had said in your channel itself earlier and other channels also, today Amit Shah was in Mathura. We did not see Hema Malini, the local MP there. She has not tweeted that I have nothing to do with, I have no problems with BJP. Why to pick up a fake story and expect the political leaders to react to it? Today also, did you ever see any of the 80 MPs of BJP and its allies with Amit Shah today in UP? No. MPs do their own work, MLA candidates do their own work, leaders do their own work. Here a story has been concocted, created and placed as a major story, whereas the story of the day is unity of Congress.
No, we are playing that as well.
Unlike
Gurdeep
BJP,
Sappal, we played that as well, but I'll tell you, Hema Malini wasn't there, she didn't say anything, nor did Manish Tiwari, because his name was dragged in, nor did Praneeth Kaur, but 2 of your other MPs who were named in the 5 made their reservation against this news very clear. They said, we are with the Congress, this is all hogwash. Yes. Some of your senior leaders in Congress haven't done it. That's the question.
No. Someone chooses to say it. Someone doesn't.
Okay.
Congress party has made it very clear that MPs were not supposed to be in that program.
All right.
If Congress party's clarification, official version doesn't hold any value, then who was coordinating that program? Who organized that program?
All right,
Was
Mr.
it
Suppal,
BJP
okay.
who sent
Your
out
argument
the invite to our
is
MPs?
taken. Your argument is taken, and I'm going to lay it at the doorstep of our BJP spokesperson, MP Rajya Sabha, GVL Narasimha Rao. Sir, the BJP has no skin in the game when it comes down to Punjab. Therefore, they want to spoil the lot of the Congress and is planting inane news like they did today. This is a plant by the BJP, is what most congressmen are today lamenting.
What else? What other excuse can they possibly come up with? I think if this is what they want to present as a show of unity, I think good luck to such unity for the Congress in every state in the country. I think there is a clear defiance that you see, and we don't run news channels like India TV, India Today, or any other channel. And if media has reported it, and if Congress has a problem with the media, they can talk about it. Why blame the BJP for something that the media has reported? It's not a story that we are tom-tomming about. The whole media, the whole Punjab knows that there is a split down the middle in Punjab. They're even right at the top, they can't see eye to eye, the PCC President Sidhu and Chief Minister Mr. Channi. And Rahul Gandhi does actually a comic show today. I think this is a grand laughter challenge. I think he has these two people on both sides. They give him the vachan that they will not disobey the party high command, which is what they've been doing. Sidhu, when did he obey the party high command so far? So I think it's this vachan is as good as the show of unity that they have put up today. The reality is that the Punjab is the only state where the Congress is in power of the 5 states which are going to polls. And the situation of the Congress clearly shows that the Congress is going to be a melting pot in Punjab as well. And we have seen how the kind of desertions from the UP's ranks in Uttar Pradesh, where his sister, Rahul Gandhi's sister, has been holding the fort. I think both brother and sister have completely failed in keeping the party united and even in putting up a semblance of a strong fight in these elections. The Congress is crumbling in these elections, and that will be a big story of the outcome of these elections.
All right. Mr. Suppal, I know you want to come in, but with your permission, can I just bring in our other guest, and I'll come back to you right after that, if you allow me. I want to bring in Habab Singh Grewal because, Ms. Rao, by admitting that the Congress is going to crumble in Punjab, you do understand the BJP really doesn't have much to gain there. It is the Aam Aadmi Party. By that assumption, Mr. Grewal, you must be sitting back with popcorn and watching it all go down.
Well, ma'am, it's a very interesting story. The Congress is shooting the messenger, but the fact is that the Gandhis needed somebody to get rid of Captain Amrinder Singh, and the old guard of the Congress, which, according to Mr. Sidhu's own saying, is worth about 3,000 to 5,000 crores each. They got together, they used Sidhu, they got rid of the captain, and when they got rid of the captain, and Sidhu saw that this is what they were doing, he started calling them out. But then the Gandhis realized that no, we need the money, and the sophisticated network that was developed by the Gandhis and the Akalis to get money out of Punjab abroad was transferred to these people, and that's what's happening here, number one. Number two, with the BJP is not smiling for nothing. The Akalis are now, Mr. Benz, I heard him in an interview today, the Akalis are now somehow telling them that, oh, see, you kept a rally with Captain Amrinder Singh, he couldn't even gather 5,000 people. We were better, and they are going to drum up a whole charade where they say that for Hindu and Sikh unity, the Akalis and BJP will get together, say probably before the elections or probably after the results. Now, what is happening here is, ma'am, they are all trying to get a hung assembly. They are trying their best that there should be a mashup and there should be a hung assembly. They've confused the voters long enough. Now, all of a sudden, the Gandhis have abandoned Sidhu. Captain Amrinder Singh's predicament can be reasoned from the fact that Harjit Singh Grewal, the man who was fighting for the BJP in Punjab, who was doing all sorts of things with Punjabis, has been dumped. So the captain will also be dumped. They want a hung assembly, and then all of them want to get together to build up, stitch up some kind of a coalition to keep us out. But Punjabis have seen through this. I live in Punjab. Punjabis have seen through this, and they won't.
Sir, we'll only know. Mr. Grewal, we'll only know when that last vote is counted. At least till now, it doesn't seem that the Gandhis have abandoned Sidhu. He's very much on the stage today.
Please.
The sheer fact, I know, Mrs. Uppal, you want to come in, and I promise, just allow me to go to each one of our panelists. Let me open the debate, and I'll come back to you for a rebuttal. So does Mr. Rao. I'll come back to the both of you. I want to cut across right now to Rahul Srivastav. Rahul Srivastav, the fact that there were rumblings in the Congress in Punjab wasn't lost on anyone. Are these rumblings good enough to script a revolt is the question, or is it just political panditry gone all wrong right before elections, like our Congress spokesperson says that these are all concocted by certain journalists and these are plants?
Preeti, the issue here is that it is not that we reported picking from thin air that there is a problem that 5 MPs are skipping the meeting. It is basically that the information was provided to us. It was confirmed with 3 people. And the fact remains that in a big event, you see, it was a big show today. I think it is unprecedented, even the Congress history, that one leader takes all the candidates together and hits the campaign trail on the ground. That is unprecedented. And on that day, why will somebody not like all the hands to be on the deck? Remember that when Navjot Sidhu a couple of days tweeted about this program, he had said that he invites all party workers. And I certainly believe that MPs are party workers. They are not out of the party ambit. He invited everybody to be there. Now, leaders, if the Congress says that no, people are clarifying, these are clarifying post the news. There are 2 leaders who, as you said, who have not clarified. And if they are saying that Praneet Kaur and Manish Tiwari are on the war path, then definitely has the Congress party taken any action against them. There is something terribly wrong in the Congress. The Congress did put up a brave united front today. Rahul Gandhi is trying to correct the picture. But the fact remains that the decisions the Congress has to take at the central level vis-a-vis the leadership, the G23 and in Congress in Punjab, all of these crises are getting together. They are coalescing at the moment, and those who want to fish in troubled waters in the Congress are doing it. So it's multiple levels of rebellion, multiple levels of trouble. The Congress is trying to paper over them and move ahead, hoping that this acceleration will help it gain ground.
Javed Ansari, can they paper over it?
It's difficult. It's very difficult.
Okay, can they, Javed Ansari, paper over it? There have been 3 back-to-back instances which have landed at the doorstep of none else but the Congress proverbial high command. You had RPN Singh leaving 2 days ago. Then you had Ghulam Nabi Azad being given a Padma honor. We still don't know whether the High Command stands by it or stands against it. And something which went down today, where Rahul Gandhi, and yes, it was a show of strength. Gurdeep Sappal at one level is completely right. It was a show of strength. But there's a lot going on in the back room and it's quite obvious.
Well, certainly it is a universal fact that all is not well, that there are schisms within the Congress party. What happened in Punjab today is perhaps a reflection. But like Mr. Sappal pointed out, Praneet Kaur, for obvious reasons, has to stay with her husband. We also know that Manish Tiwari is much closer to Amrinder Singh than he is to the Congress party. His loyalties are with Amrinder Singh, he stayed away. But at the same time, it's also a fact that the rest of the MPs, at least for now, appear to be with the Congress party. So while there is trouble and it is not a figment of somebody's imagination, you also can't deny the fact that everything that happens within the Congress party is amplified. When the same thing happens with the BJP or with any of the ruling party allies, yes, unfortunately, we in the media tend to treat it with kid gloves. But that's the name of the game these days, and the Congress just has to live with it and just carry on. Whether they'll be able to paper over it, whether they'll be able to... Yes, on the eve of the election, you need to put your best foot forward, and you need to ensure. Perhaps what Congress party lacks is the kind of political management which you saw in the days of Ahmed Patel, this attention to detailing. All these things are worked out and and worked upon much earlier, before an event takes place. Whoever is now playing the role of Ahmed Patel in the Congress party ought to have ensured that at least the MPs are right there in front. The spotlight will be in them, so they need to have ensured that everybody who matters is in the frame. Optics matters, and that's where the Congress party fails.
Well, Javed, many would right now who followed the Congress would think maybe you're looking, you've made a jibe at KC Venugopal. We're going to come right back to that, but I'll bring back, Gurdeep Sapal. Appreciate the patience, sir. Thank you. I know you've been wanting to come back. Go ahead, make your rebuttal.
Yeah, I want to make 3 points, but before that, Mr. Javed said, optics matter. But if optics of 117 candidates coming together with all the leadership is ignored by media, and these stories picked up, then that also matters. We did not shoot the messenger. Just check the Twitter line of almost a dozen journalists who first tweeted about it and then deleted it, saying that they were wrong. It was not Congress party who deleted their tweets. Those journalists themselves deleted their tweets. As far as comical, Mr. GVL said comical. Mr. GVL, you know what is comical? People have not forgotten last UP election. You had chosen a person called Manoj Sinha as CM. He started from Delhi. When he landed, Mr. Yogi was CM, and today Mr. Sinha is not there. He's nowhere. This is comical. This is what is called comedy. Congress party is a party which is trying to adjust the aspirations as well as values, both together. What Rahul Gandhi did today, he allowed a platform to everybody to speak their mind, to say what they aspire for, and said that, okay, Congress party will declare a phase in consultation with its worker. What's wrong in that? I think that's a very positive step in a day and age when the ruling party, BJP in country, has all the powers vested in just 2 people. They do not know what democracy is all about. Similarly, I can say about Aam Aadmi Party, not even 2, 1 person. Few days back, that was ab ki baar ek mauka Kejriwal ko. Suddenly, he found that it's not working. So you have got Bhagwant Mann into the fray now. So this is the reality of this thing. And Aam Aadmi Party has made a habit of saying lies. In this show also, baseless allegations have been made. Ki money came, money went to others. It is the same Aam Aadmi Party, which has made a habit of putting allegations for last 8-9 years. Not a single allegation proven. And every time when the pressure is on them, they go and apologize. Tomorrow, I am sure if I move a defamation notice against my friend from Aam Aadmi Party, few days after we'll see he'll apologize.
Welcome.
This is the entire politics of Aam Aadmi Party, which is a fledgling party. It runs a city-state, but it is rich with money. So much money that everybody can see the amount of advertisement they carry out, amount of publicity they do. From where do they get their money? Are they running sugar mills?
Okay, Mr. Sapal.
From where they are
now
earning?
can I, with your permission,
how did Aam Aadmi Party amass this volumes of
all right,
money?
okay. With your permission, now I'm going to go across to Mr. Rao, and he's been waiting rather patiently. Mr. Rao, please respond to the charges made by Mr. Sapal, and I want to add another question which has been doing the rounds, which is, you've got Mr. Majinder Singh Sirsa from the Shiromani Akali Dal. And he today brought up an issue which could be, and correct me if I'm wrong, which could be assumed as being below the belt, where he brought in Indira Gandhi, the Golden Temple, Operation Blue Star, and how Rahul Gandhi could not have space in the Golden Temple. Would you reckon this was in bad taste, sir, considering there have been a lot of riots that have taken place in many states run by the BJP as well?
Okay, now answering your question right away, because it's a very important question. I think Rahul Gandhi and the entire family cannot atone the kind of sins that the family leadership committed. Obviously, it is when the leadership passes the baton within the family in a hereditary manner, and the blame also will transfer automatically. And what happened, the sacrilege of the Golden Temple, the Operation Blue Star is a scar of history, and that will remain. Certainly, the Sikh community will not forget this as a major sacrilege committed by a tall leader of the family. And Rahul Gandhi certainly will have to apologize, atone every time he goes to Amritsar. So I think this comment is not in bad taste. It's actually something, a stark reminder to the Congress party and its family. And as far as our friend from Congress calling us, As far as the Congress spokesperson calling the BJP undemocratic and Congress as democratic, I think there cannot be, again, anything more comical than this. The Congress is a family. One individual, one family runs the entire thing as a private enterprise. And after Rahul Gandhi resigned, the whole country had seen how Sonia Gandhi took over once again. So since 1998, so for almost for 30 years, leadership is only within the family. Do you call that democracy? If the Gandhi family has the guts, I'm saying this, although this is not the debate of the day, this is not the subject of the debate. If Rahul Gandhi, Congress party has the guts, let them call for as an election of the national president of the Congress party. Why have they been shying away? Why have they been running away? Why is there not an elected Congress working committee? Why is there no elected national president of the Congress party? You run this as a family shop, and then you are blaming BJP as BJP is not owned by any individual. It's not controlled by a family, biological family, and that obviously the leadership comes to individuals based on their contribution to the party and how they have helped party to grow. Today, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji has emerged as a global leader, entirely on his own, not because of any familial connections. So certainly he towers over every other leader in the party. What's wrong with it? That's democracy, not our family members inheriting the party one after the other. If that is the definition of democracy, I don't think people will accept.
All right, okay. I'm going to break the chain, but I'm going to go to our other panelists later. I'm going to break the chain because I know Mr. Suppal wants to come in for a rebuttal. Yes, sir, go ahead. Make your rebuttal quickly, but.
Number one, while making this statement, Mr. Sirsa and Mr. G will forget that it is Congress party ruling Punjab, and certainly the Sikh community has been voting for Congress party after what happened in earlier part of 80s. Because this is a party in which Mrs. Sonia Gandhi went to the Golden Temple and apologized. It is the same Congress party where Prime Minister Manmohan Singh apologized for what happened in the past in Parliament of India. And that is why the Sikh community knows who stands for secularism today. Let Mr. Modi regret or apologize for whatever happened in Gujarat under his regime. Let him do it. We'll also say that, okay, you are forgiven. Issue is which party is secular today, which party stands for unity, which party is against the hatred. Certainly, this is Congress party today that stands for unity, for amity, and for against the hatred being perpetuated by BJP.
Okay.
And also you talk about president. Since 1989, now it is 33 years, nobody from Gandhi family has been prime minister, while Congress party ruled this country for nearly 15 years in between. And if that is not an issue for you, please suggest Mr. Modi to swap prime ministership with Mr. Nadda. Make Mr. Nadda the Prime Minister. Then you'll understand the value of sacrifice.
Okay, I want to go into our other panelists now with both your permission. I want to bring in Mr. Grewal. Mr. Grewal, the Aam Aadmi Party has been very actively criticizing, the Congress. The fact is...
Rubber stamp. You made him a rubber stamp, no?
Okay.
Anything that you can say.
Okay, so let's not get into this.
No, I think you have made Dr. Manmohan Singh a Prime Minister.
Okay.
But you certainly you have not allowed him to function.
Please ask Mr.
You have not allowed him to function.
Can we not have this? We were having such a civil debate. Can we not? I request both the gentlemen.
When did BJP have an election for its president?
I request both the gentlemen. Okay, may I just go? Can I just get? Can I go to our spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party? All right, I just want to go to our spokesperson, Aam Aadmi Party. You've made a lot of claims against the Congress. I want to ask you the very fact, which even Mr. Suppal brought up. You yourself apologized to Mr. Majitia, who you accused of the drug trade.
Yes, I'll come to that. But first, you know what's comical about Congress in Punjab? We've got, they've announced 109 seats, not 117. Okay. Just that they have somebody from outside Punjab defending the Congress in Punjab. I don't understand the logic. The real fact is that the money bags have won in the Congress. They used Sidhu to get Amrinder out because he was behaving like a hungry lion. Okay. And he won't let the cubs have their share of the meat, of the spoils.
Okay.
Ma'am, just give me a minute.
Please.
That was one point. As far as our understanding or our apology to Majeethia in the court of law was, I'll tell you, there were 37 or 38 cases on Mr. Kejriwal. We said everything. We know the facts. We live in Punjab. Even Majeethia's right now, he's running for bail. But when we saw that the Congress government is not interested, sir, let me finish.
Sir,
you
please,
can come in whenever
Mr.
you have the
Sapal, come
time.
on. Yes, go ahead, sir. Please make your point.
When we saw that the Congress government, as soon as Captain Amrinder Singh came into power, he said, "Oh, this baby has been playing on my lap. I was friends with his father. Oh, I was like this." When we heard that happening, we are like, our chief minister has to run Delhi. We can't just run around going to attending court cases. We told the people and we promised the people of Punjab that the moment we get our chance, we assure
you
we
cut your
won't
losses
let any
there.
one of them run.
Please.
All right,
Yes,
you cut
we
your
did.
losses
Yes,
there.
Ask one question.
Yes, we did.
Okay, all right.
Yes, we did.
Javed Ansari, you wanted to make a point, quickly come
Or
in.
you apologize to Mr. Jaitley. What happened then?
Okay, sir.
What happened? That was then.
Okay, Javed Ansari.
Exactly the same.
What happened then?
Sir, can we just please stop the heckling? Sir, appreciate, please. Come on, Mr. Sapal, you know, I have never seen you like this. I don't know what has got to rise out of you in this debate.
He's rattled. He's
Okay,
rattled.
can we all calm down? Javed Ansari, go ahead. You wanted to make a quick point.
Yes, I strongly endorse what my friend GVR Narasimha Rao said. The Congress must commit as to when they will hold presidential elections. And can my good friend GVL also tell us when was the last time the BJP elected a president? I want an answer from both the gentlemen.
All right, okay.
Our schedule is
GVL, can I go across to the BJP spokesperson very quickly, sir? You want to respond to that?
Yes. Yes. Yeah, but it's not in the family, by hereditary. Mr. Nadda is currently the president. He is not a brother of Amit Shah.
Sir, can we just go one by one?
Mr.
Let him answer.
Nadda ji is not son of
raised a
Amit Shah
question.
ji. No, this is difference. If we are able to select somebody, if we are able to elect somebody unanimously, very good for the party. But if there is a challenger to it, there will be election. In Congress, you cannot even challenge. And as far as other comment of Mr. Javed is concerned, I think we are treated with Javed. You said we are treated with kid gloves. Let me tell you, we are treated. We are not treated with kid gloves. I think that's reserved for Rahul Gandhi and his family. I think a large section of the media treats them with as a monarchy. We are all the time on the target flank.
All right, okay. I want to get a closing in, Mr. Sapal. I don't have the time. I want to give 1 minute of a closing.
Congress party has already announced the election schedule.
Okay.
And when last time elections happened, people did contest against Mrs. Gandhi. And the person who contested, his son remained minister for next several years in UPA.
Okay.
It is now only he went away.
Rahul Srivastava, I'm sorry. Can I bring in my colleague Rahul Srivastava? I'm running out of time. Rahul Srivastava, would you want to sum it up? Because, you know, what's the cost to come where Punjab is concerned? Because what happened on stage today, yes, it was a show of strength with 109 MLAs, candidates, but on the other hand, there's a lot which went down. Forget about the rumblings of these 5 MPs, whether it happened, didn't happen, what it means if they didn't tweet. Forget about that. Enough happened on stage.
Yes, Preeti. When was the last time we see that a leader has to make leaders say that they pledge their solidarity to the party on a public platform, that they're burying the hatchet, they will abide by the party rules? The fact remains that the Congress actually is postponing a lot of decisions on very critical issues that dog the party right from the top, that they have an interim president for the last 2 years. They're not taking care of the rebels who are there in the Congress or the elements of rebellion. And perhaps it is hoping right now that this show of strength will help them, will catapult them back to power.
Now, we'll only know when that last vote is counted. I'm going to cut you short because we are running terribly short of time. I apologize. Sincere apologies, Rahul. I'm going to quickly run into a quick break. We'll only know what goes down, whether the Congress can keep its house in order when that last vote is counted. Punjab votes, viewers, on the 20th of February. Welcome back. You're watching News Today, and India Today's consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai spoke exclusively to Utpal Parrikar, ex-Goa Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar's son and independent candidate from Panaji. Let's listen in to this exclusive conversation.
Hello and welcome to this India Today special. In the battle for Goa, all eyes are on one seat and possibly one individual. The battle for Panjim and the independent candidate from Panjim, Utpal Parrikar, son of the former Defence Minister of the BJP government, the late Manohar Parrikar. Appreciate your joining us, Utpal, on a day that you filed your nomination. Did you ever imagine that Utpal Parrikar, son of Manohar Parrikar, who set up in a way the BJP in Goa, built the BJP in Goa, will now contest against the BJP?
Well, I was always hoping that won't be the case. But sometimes in life, you are brought to a situation where you have to take tough decisions. And I was until last minute, I was trying to avoid the decision. I was hoping that the situation will be that I will avoid the decision. But after all, I have to be with the people and listen to them. And because of that, I have to go ahead in this manner.
Because the BJP is saying, look, we could have given Utpal Parrikar some other seat. He was insisting on Panjim, and you can't insist on a seat. BJP is not a party of dynasties that just because your father was a chief minister, defense minister, the son will get a ticket where he wants.
I never asked because my father was anything in BJP. Even last time, the ticket was denied, although the ground level workers, councillors were with me. There are things which are beyond what we see. And it's not about also getting elected from some other seat. For me, it's what we have built in Panjim last 30 years. A person who is total antithesis of what my father stood for, coming there and just within 2 years taking it over is not acceptable, not only for me, but for all the workers who have built the party here. So they are with me, the people who have built it. And finally, I have to stay with them.
No, you make an interesting point. You say you are here to preserve Manohar Bhai's legacy, particularly in Panji. Now, and you are taking on Babush Montserrat because you believe that the politics that Babush Montserrat represents is the politics of crime and defection.
That itself shows that the fight I am having, you also know, is not the easy fight. I am putting my entire political career in hands of people of Panjim.
No, to fight a Babush Montserrat who was first brought in a way into power by your father, your late father Manohar Bhai Parrikar. When he became chief minister in 2002, he made Babush Montserrat town and country planning minister. Now Babush could well say that how come suddenly I have become a criminal who's destroying Panjim?
Well, because when he was brought in and when he did the first wrong thing, he was also sacked at the cost of losing the government. And for 7 years, my father was in opposition. So he had taken the very strong step. See, you always end up with the 40 people in assembly and you form government based on that. But at this level, you can always take other decisions which are more correct, more value-based.
No, my point to you is your fight against Babush Montserrat or is your fight against the BJP?
My fight is against Babush Montserrat to keep him out of the assembly.
He is someone who is a 4-time MLA.
Yes.
He is someone who has won the election from Panjim. He is obviously a very powerful person, has a reputation of winning elections. By taking him on, what are you trying to prove? Because do you believe that this BJP, which is fighting this election, is not the BJP of Manohar Parrikar?
No, meaning I have told initially also when I mentioned that I have to fight towards certain things. When accepting him in the party and handing over the Panjim seat to him, when he has not done anything which falls in the ethos of the party. For example, he has made his son the mayor of the city. Can you expect that in Manohar Parrikar BJP, that someone's son becomes a mayor, wife is a minister, asking for 2 or 3 more tickets for his people? That represents what is the wrong thing. And I have to fight it out in this manner. It's unfortunate that I have to do it.
You think the BJP, I heard some of your supporters today saying BJP is now Babu's Jennifer party, that Babush and his wife. The question I ask you is this, that when the BJP turns around, Devendra Fadnavis, for example, who's in charge of the BJP, he says, look, we look at Karyakartas, we don't look at surname. That just because you are Manohar, I'll come back to it, because you are Parrikar son, BJP mein gharane shahi nahi hai, there is no dynasty.
Have you gone through the entire candidate list? I don't have to answer. You have to ask them only.
There are a number of husband and wives who have been given
Was it possible in Manohar Parrikar's BJP? Wife getting tickets? So there are certain things are to be said, they are said. But some things, these are like crossing of the line, and when such thing happens, and for Panjim, where all the people who have built a party are with me, unfortunately I have to take this tough step. The fight is not going to be easy. I am putting my neck on the line, because I am fighting Babush Mansarat, with whom the machinery is there today. I am fighting alone with all the supporters, and I am hoping people of Punjab, and I am confident that they will support.
What happens if you lose this election? Is that the end of your political career?
No, that I don't have to. I have given the entire, kept my neck on the line, and my fate of politics. I don't look at politics as career. If that was the case, I would have accepted any other seat and gone and seen that I am elected, managed somehow. I am not fighting for that. So the fate of my political career is in people's hand. Let them decide.
Is this a new BJP? The question I posed. You see, the Manohar Bhai Parrikar BJP started as a small party in the 1990s. First time majority 2012. Now we have seen a lot of outsiders coming in, and the criticism is that Manohar Bhai also brought in people from the outside. People came from Congress and other parties also at that time. So why only blame today's BJP?
No, today's, because this is the candidate list. Husband, wife. See, it's not that people join political party from all. It's in democracy, you cannot stop anyone.
Because defectors even came at that time. Even Manohar Bhai brought in people from outside.
Defectors came.
2017 also you formed a government, even though Congress was single largest, by bringing in people from outside.
Sorry, 2017 it was a post-poll coalition.
Post-poll coalition, yes.
One guy jumped by resigning and coming in.
Yes.
But it wasn't, defectors weren't brought. It was a post-poll coalition. Until my father was there, it was a post-poll coalition. So that is part of the constitution. The thing is, I see that Babush is kind of taking over, and his culture and his values are being enforced
in the
locally. Because otherwise, these things wouldn't have happened. It's not that someone has come in. It's that after coming in, it is the ethos of the party has gone. So because of that, and because of Panjim, I'm doing it for safeguarding Panjim.
Do you believe your father, who was, as I said, built this party, would be happy with what you have done?
If decisions were taken, he would have been sitting right here.
He would have done what you have done?
Yes.
You would not have accepted the way the BJP is functioning
You
today.
cannot give tickets based on husband, wife and all that. And then only like a token, all the time say that this is, we are not giving you because you are Parrikar son. You have to either follow it everywhere. I am following what the people of Panjim are telling me, and all the Karyakartas who have built a party in Panjim are telling me.
My final question. What is it that Utpal Parrikar wants to offer to Panji, which is different to what you believe a Babush or the present BJP can offer? What is your main plank? Are you trying to offer clean politics? What are you trying to offer?
Everyone in Panjim now knows my background. For me, I want to basically take away, I'm not just here so that I will be kind of do the money politics which the opponent is doing just during the election. I have my vision which I want to give to Panjim after filing nomination. I will make it clear to people of Panjim, and I want to work sincerely just like my father worked for last more than 20 years. And I hope and I'm confident that they will trust me and vote for me.
Utpal Parrikar, the candidate for Panji, making it clear why he has decided to take this major decision of taking on the party in a way of Manohar Parrikar, the BJP, by fighting as an independent candidate. Rajdeep Sardesai in Panjim for India Today.